let's talk about one of the biggest problems that I see in all of the wellness clinics that I've worked with. So, this is it. It's that you're using the wrong pricing model. You have been sold a credit system by the manufacturers of your machines. Okay. You haven't been sold a pricing model from successful wellness clinic owners. And often, especially like there's so many things that go into running a profitable clinic. One is like location. If you're in a location where there's a massive amount of footfall, or you're the only wellness clinic in a 30-mile radius, then you are going to have most likely like the volume. If you're in a city, you're going to have enough volume for your pricing model to kind of like any symptoms, any issues of a pricing model that it presents might be somewhat numbed. Doesn't mean they're not there, but because you're in a great location and you've got all the volume, that you require, you might think you're doing really well, but you still might not be actually like milking the cow as much as you possibly could. But for the wellness clinic owners who are surrounded by other wellness clinics, or you're in a smaller area, you cannot rely on a system of volume in order to become successful. Okay. And so, like I said, let's just like get into it. Let's have a look at what's actually going on the clinic floor so that you can understand what's really happening here. So let's look at the credit system. This is the current model. Clients come in and they exchange money for credits. But what you're missing here is that the clients have a behavior when it comes to spending. You might have a client that is spending on health and wellness all the time, but equally spending more or the same as on things that make them sick. So there's a problem there already, is that you might not even have a perfect client in front of you who wants to spend money in your business and they're not actually prepared to even heal. So different issue for a different video, but you get the idea. Whatever is going on in that client's life when it comes to spending behavior is now up to them for their healing behavior as well. Because even though they've given you money and your needs are met, they now have to spend their credits wisely. And the chances are the client in front of you is probably walking around at sick to well at best, and probably aren't capable of making very good decisions when it comes to spending on their health and wellness. Okay. So what happens is they have this idea of like, you know what? How can I make these last? And so over a month, they might have visited you like once a week for a month. That's consistency for some people. But what I typically see in wellness clinics is that people spread those out however long you give them to spend those credits. So if you have like a 3-month expiry date on 10 credits, they are going to make them last up to 3 months. Now, this is problematic for a few reasons. The obvious one is that you're not going to have a repeat purchase from that client for 3 months. So you're delaying your own cash flow on this model with the majority of your clients. Some clients will probably spend those credits quite quickly. They might get through them within like 2 weeks, which is great. You're going to have a lot more repeat spending from those customers. But this still causes an issue for you because you still got inconsistent cash flow. Some people spend 2 or 3 times a month. Some people spend once every 3 months, and some people are spending once every year, depending on your expiration dates of these credits. But here's the biggest problem. Clients aren't healing. Clients aren't getting results at the exact same time, at the exact same point in their journey. You have absolutely no idea as to when somebody is actually going to heal, and that could be something that's in your control. So for the clients who are saving these, they definitely aren't healing. And what happens that? Well, they get their credits, they decide when to use them. They have inconsistent treatments, holidays get in the way, and like you've probably experienced this on the back end. How many clients have you had reach out to you being like, hey, my credits have expired, but I had 3 left. Can you extend them? And suddenly you find yourself like bending over backwards and actually going, yeah, you know what, you can have 3 credits, because you're hoping that they're going to buy again. They use the 3 credits, then they go, away again. Suddenly, like you're getting really fed up of having to kind of deal with these types of clients. Slow healing, nothing feels different for the client. They just think, well, it kind of masks a symptom every now and then. It hides a symptom. And eventually, you lose track of them, or they quit altogether. Maybe you just never see them ever again. Now, your business is suffering here because the consequences of that is that you have a very high churn, or you can't even measure your churn because people come and go as they please. You have a revolving door in your business. You have holes in a bucket. As many people as you bring into your business, you also send as many on their way, and you just have no idea of when people are going to come back. So your cash flow is really inconsistent, and you are in a constant need of finding new clients. you cannot retain customers. Okay. And you end up just essentially feeling like you're on a hamster wheel because you're always chasing new customers. Money is leaking out from the bottom, and you are selling access to machines rather than results. You're not selling outcomes or results here. Okay. And clients are, they're the ones in charge of their healing journey, which doesn't work. Because if they were good at it, they wouldn't need healing because they would be very good at what they're doing. They would be very good at staying on top of healthy behaviors and doing things that are in their best interests, but they don't, which is why they need you. That's why they shouldn't be in control of the process. Okay. On this model, healing is always an afterthought. The first thought becomes, how can I, make these last or get the most from these credits that I've already purchased? They think they have something tangible here to use, but it's like they're actually just giving away and spreading out their healing journey. So this is what you want to do. You want to move to a prescription model. Okay, this is a much better system. This means that the control stays with you, the practitioner, the whole time. Okay, because the client comes in and you sit down with them and say, what is it that you're here for? That enables you to start thinking through things like an assessment. Okay, the things you're telling me and all the problems that you say you have, let's find out the true depth of those problems, and you perform an assessment. That enables you to customize a plan, a prescription. You can say, based off everything we've gone through in the assessment, which we've charged for, made money off already, good job. You now get to prescribe them like, hey, I need you to get on this machine, and this machine for the next 90 days, 1 to 3 times a week. That's what you need to do. It's going to cost this much. And they pay for that up front. So the client visits every 2 or 3 weeks and they do it consistently. And they have maybe some reviews in between as well to make sure that they're kind of held accountable and they're seeing progress. And what you notice over those reviews is that they are healing because they are following your protocols. And so suddenly you have clients that are feeling really energized, they're getting healthier, their healing meter has gone up. And it's been great for them because they haven't had to think. All they've had to do is follow your plan that you've set out in advance. And they also know, because there's an end date to this plan, that they're not expected to measure results until that end date. And so this is when you can't, clients aren't left to kind of drift where they're like, is it working? Is it not? Because you've told them ahead of time, I don't want to have that conversation until this review or at 90 days at the end of the program. It's follow the process and trust the process until we get there. And then we'll have a conversation about whether or not there was value in this, whether or not it worked, all the other things. But in my experience, when I've done this with wellness clinic owners, their clients all get results within 30 days. And that creates happy clients. Happy clients are more happy to refer your amazing services to other people. Okay. And this is what enables you to start finding new clients without even having to lift a finger. It's because you spent more time on the front end with the perfect clients, and they are then now creating more clients for you without you having to lift a finger. When you get more results for your clients within the first 30 days, within 60, 90 days, you have more social proof, you have more referrals, you have more testimonials to be able to share with people about how great your treatments truly are, rather than just being, well, these are the benefits of my machine, and some people get results and some people don't. And this is how you retain clients for longer, because they trust you more. They've seen progress and results, and so that builds trust. And so after they've done their big program of change, their next question is, doc, what do I do next? It positions you consistently and for the long term as the logical next best step. They will always come back to you and say, what am I best to do next? The thing you prescribed me first worked. I'm really happy with my results. I still want the same sort of thing, or I want to maintain it now. This is how you position your product 3 as the next logical best step. Now, what this does on the business end, though, is this creates predictable revenue for you. For every new member that you get, or every new client that you get in the assessment phase, you're already making money there. Then you're going to make money on the change program, and that that's going to lead them to becoming a client that you've retained for maybe the next 9 months to a year. So you have a lot more predictable revenue coming into your business now. And so you're no longer on that hamster wheel of chasing new clients. And this is what allows you to predictably grow and scale your business. When you have a system like this is something you can run ads to, because it's not dependent on the clients essentially showing up. It's dependent on having a team in place to prescribe what they need to do. And this is what gives you systems. You can have sales here, you can have coaches in your business, and you can start to remove yourself as the owner operator. People don't buy treatments on this model, they are buying the outcomes. And that is actually what you sell. You just haven't been positioning it like that. Okay. This is where the practitioner is in charge of the treatments. You're managing the treatments, and this is where clients get extraordinary results. This is how everybody heals in your business. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why, like, your clients' behavior and what you've been seeing in your business that you're not happy with is actually just a direct result of how your clients are behaving, which is how you're allowing your clients to behave. I hope that was helpful. If you want help switching to that model, go ahead and reach out and book a growth consultation today, and I will help you out. See you in the next one.